Switching gears to the capital region, we have Kings Dominion and the Virginia State Fair in Doswell, Virginia. Amtrak mainly serves that part of the corridor service and likely is a CVTA to run their own regional service for the Richmond area.
I was wrong about the CVTA. Welcome back to History and Leisure, and last time I focused on WMATA. Today it's mostly about regional rail to Richmond and Virginia's coast links, and we'll get to MARC as well. Currently, the VRE exploring and extending to the furthest part of the line to serve current Amtrak stations to Staples Mill Road. There's also room for more stations along the way, as well as on the Williamsburg and Norfolk branches. Williamsburg would see some off-peak Amtrak service from DC and the sleeper service added to Norfolk, and we call that the Tidewater. Use that old name for the sleeper version. And then I've been thinking of putting in the intercity just a separate Amtrak route called the Virginian, going from Newport News all the way up to Martinsburg or Cumberland, Maryland. See, about half it would be electrified, half not, which would be interesting, at least at this current time. So beyond that, I already thought of two other routes for VRE south of Fredericksburg. Starting in Newport News, we head north to Deer Park. I would add a new stop at Avenue of the Arts to serve Christopher Newport University and a museum. Next would be Bland Newport Williamsburg Airport with an airport shuttle provided. At the city limits would be Lee Hall Station. A long gap to Williamsburg with a new stop at Busch Gardens Williamsburg connecting to Williamsburg's one bus serving as its stop for the park and brewery. There would be a pedestrian bridge to drop off to the drop-off loop, putting guests right at front gate, so we hopefully can scrap the Scotland Bavaria lots or convert Scotland Bavaria to the train station, and the city or park operates a special shuttle. It would be tight, but an island platform station for Riverside Hospital. With following would be the current Amtrak station, followed by Lightfoot and Norgaetano. About halfway between Awell and Richmond would be Providence, for service of small towns and other minor settlements, and would be skipped by express service. Richmond Airport, again another bus shuttle to the airport. Then Fulton, named for the CSX yard. Then you have Main Street and Staples Mill Road, which would be the terminus of the Fredericksburg line. And during the state fair, those trains would continue up to Doswell, but they mostly would turn back at Staples Mill Road. Petersburg line would go from a new stop within Petersburg town itself, with the entire thing called Attic VSU. It would stop at Windsor north of the Swift River before going to Chester, that's north of town. Kingsland Creek, then it will stop at Bentley for going through South Richmond. We'll stop at the VA Hospital before Cedarhurst and Carolyn Lake on the other side of the James, squeezing Grove Avenue before Staples Mill Road, and then it will continue north to Fredericksburg as follows: Laurel, Glen Allen, Ashland, Doswell State Fair, Kings Dominion, off-peak terminus of the Fredericksburg line, Bowling Green, Spotsylvania, Fredericksburg. The Fredericksburg line also received two infill stations. One is the Post Potomac Shores, and another one called Aquila, north of Leland Road. No extension for the Manassas line. For all this, frequency matters, and it'd be nice if the VRE and MARC could run hourly with that Virginia service filling in as an off-peak express service. It kind of all be like a cross-rail link. Currently, only the Brunswick line shares with the Amtrak Capital Limited all the way up that way close to Pittsburgh, and getting Cumberland would be that much closer, and that would only leave like 2 or 3 stops on the Capital that are outside of an intercity connection. That would be Collinsville, PA, and then currently Alliance, but I would change it to Youngstown. It would go connect to Newcastle, and in my head there would be a Pittsburgh regional line for Pittsburgh there. I can talk about it some other time. And then I thought of a lot of new lines looking at Open Railway about potential lines for MARC, and I kind of teased a bit last time. The Penn line, it's split in half, with duplication between the two airports, Martin State and BWI. North that, service is extended to Newark, because you could either have Delaware doing its own thing down to Perryville or Aberdeen, or you extend MARC up north and you split the Penn line in half. So on my map, I called the northern half of the Chesapeake line, which goes from Newark, Delaware, we would meet with SEPTA and Amtrak, then Elkton, Northeast, Perryville, Aberdeen, Permian, Edgewood, Martin State, Bayview, Penn, Mount Royal, Upton Avenue, Market, West Baltimore, St. Agnes, Heatherthorpe, BWI, and then the Servan line would go through the core and then continue down into DC. Can't doesn't change at all, probably frequency. But to double up to give that core like at least 30-minute frequency all day is a new Susquehanna line, which shares the Camden line to Lansdowne. 2 stops of its own: Morrill Park, which would be between St. Ives and Lansdowne. A new stop on the BRT called Franklin Town Road goes through the core with the other 2, but it breaks up at Bayview to its own right-of-way, serving new towns of Rosedale, Frankfort, Whitemarsh, Gunpowder Falls, Abington, Bellingham, a separate station at Aberdeen, Port Deposit, Baldfriar, and terminating in Peach Bottom, PA. And that line would also be used by the new Amtrak Buchanan service, which would continue up along the line serving Columbia, which would be connection to York and Lancaster via buses, Harrisburg, Williamsport, and terminating at State College. And then I decided to give an infill station of Fort Ton on the Brunswick line, simply because that's a major connection anyway, especially if the O line were extended through the MTA Purple line to Langley TC or I-95, as we talked about last time. And also Green goes to Greenbelt. Could be a good sort of outer connection between the Camden and Susquehanna lines and the Brunswick line. Not sure if it'd be any quicker, just go terminus and out, but that's an option. I also said Silver Spring could as well, especially from maybe for like Virginian service. Barclay has more options. There is a line that exists between Frederick and Baltimore. Not sure how popular that would be. I don't know, maybe you could split the Capital Limited, Harper's Ferry. I was thinking about adding an infill stop between Montclair and Point of Rocks anyways. I've done quite a few Blue Sky maps for cities, but I also want to get back and do some theme park stuff for this series, so I'm probably going to start working on a Jowland one for the summer, and that's all I have for now. Next videos should be more fun, getting out more, going to Flower Show, maybe Otherworld. That's been delayed to May. Could always do a random tram game thing. Actually start that before the 15 is done, since I probably should just do a dedicated video for the 15 Girard line anyway. Until next time, comment, subscribe, strike the bell.